What's going on, guys? Sorry I'm a little late. Coming in for another Power Hour stream. Gonna be doing what we've been doing all week, going over the day of SPY action, looking at volume profile and a couple of different techniques to see how we could have traded today. I'm also going to show kind of my live alerts that I gave out in Discord as well. Today I stopped giving live alerts after, well, basically up until lunchtime. I was working on the website after lunchtime, so nothing live after 1 p.m. So we're going to go over what I called out live before lunchtime, and then we're going to do a replay for all the stuff after lunchtime. So we'll get a little bit of both. But let's go ahead and start it up. Since I tried the replay function last stream and it worked out beautifully, I'm going to go ahead and do that again. So let me go ahead and grab this. We're going to hide. Oh, no, I have to show VWAP. Here's this replay. And we can actually see how this reacts to my levels while price is being developed. Let's go ahead and get started. So I don't start doing analysis until 10 o'clock. Today I was a little late, so I didn't start until 10:30. Here's where that point of origin is forming. Okay, here's 10 o'clock. This is typically when I start to do analysis, but I was a little late today, so I didn't start till about 10:30. So I'm going to let it run a little bit. Let's keep an eye on the volume profile here. So as you can see, basically straight into 10 o'clock, right when the morning session started, you can see that profile was pretty much 100% balanced. You were seeing the balance profile from the very beginning of the day. So throughout the day, you're going to see how this profile developed, but it is extremely balanced from start to finish. So let's keep an eye on that. Hey, Digital, what's going on, man? So here's where that other point of origin. So here's our 2 point of origins for the day. We have that point of origin high, point of origin low. Basically, both of them are textbook, beautiful point of origins. We have a basically textbook balanced profile. POC is almost perfectly in the middle. VWAP is in the middle. Let's keep going here. When did I start doing analysis? Let me take a look at Discord real fast so I can tell you exactly when I started to live call these. Okay, I started to live call them at 10:35, right when it's testing the POC. So it should be coming up here. Yeah, so like right here is when I started to live call it. First level I called out was the value area low and the value area high. So we were testing the POC here and it was failing. So you were more inclined to target that value area low than you were to target that value area high, okay? So you were seeing that failure of the POC, failure of VWAP. VWAP was also downtrending. So even though you're very balanced, you're slightly inclined to target the bearish levels, right? The value area low, the point of origin on the low, even like the daily open. So I called out the value area low here. That was going to be your first target. You didn't really want to short the POC here, but if you're looking to enter a long, you want to look for the value area low, and you want to look for that lower section outside of the value area low for that first long entry. What's going on, Crypto Don? So you actually tested your value area high here first, even though it did show you that little bit of bearish strength off the POC. So this is where you would start to look for shorts. The value area low, value area high, and then above the value area high to the point of origin. This is going to be like your high probability short zone, and this is going to be your high probability, here is going to be your high probability long zone. This is pretty much kind of 50-50. So you don't really want to take entries in the middle. You want to take the entries towards the high or the low. When you have a balanced profile, your strategy for the day is buying the lows and selling the highs. Okay? So here's where the highs start to come in. There's your value area high being tested. So after you hit your value area high, if you would have taken that short right on the level, you're looking for the POC and you're looking for VWAP as your first target. And then as your final target, you're looking for the other side of the value area. So you're looking for that val. Okay? So there's your value area low. So you would have taken profit on your short here. And then you could have started to flip long once you reclaim the value area low here. You could also add on to your long, or you could have entered the long around the point of origin. Very, very standard stuff here. So you did not test the point of origin there. You got very, very close to it. You tested the wick. You did not test the body. Sorry, let me move this over so you can see the volume profile. So if you took that long during the value area low test, you would have taken your first profit on the POC or the VWAP. You're still looking for that value area high, which I marked out right here. You also have a slight gap on VWAP, which could have been a rejection zone. We'll keep an eye on it. So you blow right through it. Here comes your value area high. There's your value area high. So you would have taken profit on your long. And now you're starting to look for shorts, right? So you're starting to look for shorts from the value area high to the point of origin, or the high of day. That is your short target zone. You also have, or short entry zone, excuse me. You also have a small gap here. I called out this gap right here because that could be a rejection zone. You could watch that for a short entry as well. So you start to deviate the value area high here. I called this out in Discord. This becomes a value area high deviation. So you could have shorted that deviation. And like I said, you would be targeting POC, VWAP, and the value area low. Now watch what happens here. You grab that POC, but you start to bull flag here. When you start to bull flag here, look at the volume profile. You have a very strong high volume node below your price, giving you that support. So this bull flag is really starting to push you up. It's starting to be bullish. So if you did take that short on the deviation, you probably would want to start either closing the short for break even or a small loss, or depending on how you structure this, you could add on to your short kind of around the gap or around the point of origin. But this is very bullish here. If you're showing a deviation on your value area high, but you're not able to even get towards VWAP, look at what I mentioned here in Discord. I said the first sign of the bullish strength was breaking the balance structure. The first sign of bullish strength breaking the balance structure was unable to hit VWAP after deviating the value area high. So once you deviated the value area high here, you should easily continue your balance structure, hit your VWAP, hit your value area low, and then just keep doing the same thing over and over again, maintaining that balance structure. You're not doing that here. You deviate the value area high, but then you find support and you start to push up. That is very bullish. So your balanced profile is now shifting into more of like a P shape. You're shifting into that bullish structure. Okay. So let's keep an eye on it here. Okay, so there's that gap. So if you waited for the gap, you could have filled a short on the gap there. You would have hit your first target on the POC. You're still waiting for that value area low test. So now you want to get out of that trade. So once you saw that very strong bounce off the POC, if you entered that short on the gap, you want to get out of that trade. That is a really, really bullish sign that you are shifting out of your balance structure more into a bullish structure, okay? If you're maintaining support on the POC, on the retest, you're not balanced anymore. You should be failing POC, okay? So let's keep going. Here you have a 1 minute bear div coming in. You blew right through your point of origin, no resistance. You created a small gap here. So right off that 1 minute bear div, you had a small gap come in. There's the gap being tested. Now we're entering lunchtime. I don't do any trades during lunchtime. I don't do any analysis during lunchtime, but we can keep an eye on it and see how you could have traded this. So basically right now you have a couple things you want to note. You have your value area high, which is basically lined up perfectly with the point of origin. Oh, sorry, that's further on. So right now, the value area high is slightly below your point of origin, and you have a major gap still kind of right on that point of origin, okay? So that's really the only things that you would be noting below you. Above you, you've got a high of day. You've got the breakout of high of day. You're just watching for that momentum. Now that we're starting to break out of the value area, the only thing that I typically do when we're trading like this is I watch out for bear divs if you're on the high. I watch out for bull divs if you're on the low, and I just kind of pay attention to the momentum. I don't do any fancy like volume profile trading. I mainly just look for the momentum because you're outside of that value area and you're kind of going into a new structure. So what you can do is if your price is very close to like your previous day price or even the day before, you can look at those important levels like the highs and the lows and see if those are going to come in as resistance or support. But for today, there really isn't any levels above us. You've got that kind of, you have the daily open from, what is this, April 30th, which is last Thursday. So that's like the only important levels that you have above you are the April 30th levels. Everything else is below you. So basically, you just want to pay attention to that momentum. Let's get back into it. Hey, Crypto Steph, what's going on, man? Let's keep an eye on this lunchtime action. Let's see what happens. So still just distributing, nothing too crazy. Not a whole lot of momentum in either direction. You just had another top. You're just putting in constant tops on your distribution. So once you break your distribution low here, look at where you have a gap, right? You have a gap right below your value area high. So this little area here, if this was going to be a massive bullish day and you wanted to break out, you need to find support on the value area high. You cannot lose the value area high, okay? Let's watch it. Let's watch how it reacts here. Okay, you're trying to find a little bit of support. Okay, here's where you want to start to bounce. So if you're very bullish, if you want to take this long here, you have to see a bounce off the value area high. You don't see it here, okay? So now the value area high is becoming a deviation. So now that you're becoming a deviation, you can go back to kind of trading your balanced structure, right? Selling the highs, buying the lows. But you want to be a little careful here, selling the highs, because you already showed signs of bullish strength and you already broke out of your balanced structure. So now you have a lot of kind of value above your balanced structure, okay? So you are slightly bullish. So you want to be a little careful taking short positions here. But this would have given you a short entry on the loss of the value area high. Okay, so that would have faked you out a little bit. So that's exactly what I was just talking about. So it gave you a little bit of a short entry here when you pulled back into the value area high, but then you immediately reclaimed it. So this faked you out a little bit here. If you took that short, you'd be in the negative already. You could have closed it here and flipped bullish when you saw that bounce off the value area. But if you took the short, you probably would have just closed. So if you were waiting for the bounce, you would have got a really good entry. If you were going for the short, you would have been underwater. That's a hard trade. So honestly, that could be 50-50. Some days you probably would have shorted that. Some days you would have longed it. That's a hard trade. So you're back into that distribution range. If you guys want, if you saw something like this, you could just trade the distribution technique. So you have a distribution coming in, you sell the highs, buy the lows. It's basically the same as a balanced structure. You're just doing it in more of a ranged format, right? So once you lose this distribution again, this is pretty bearish. And look, okay, so another thing to note, you're not only losing the distribution, this is actually the value area high. So right here is actually the value area high. So you're re-losing the value area high. That would have given you another short signal. But once again, like I said, you have to be careful taking these shorts because this is not a balanced profile anymore. So your balanced profile techniques of like taking the value area high failures and taking the value area high deviations, it's not going to work as well as it would on a balanced profile. This is more of a bullish day than a standard balanced day, okay? But still, if this loses this little range here, so if you find resistance on the bottom of the range here, this could still be a good short. So let's see what happens. Okay, so yeah, like you just lost the low there. And there you go, you're losing the point of origin, the old point of origin. You actually have a new point of origin down here. So we'll see how it reacts to that level. You also have a small gap right below that low. You see this gap right here in volume profile? So if you were bullish, you would bounce right out of that gap. You'd go down, you'd fill that gap, you'd bounce right out of it. So you're still trying to hold that. Okay, there you lost it. So this is where if you were still holding a bullish bias, you would want to long the POC in the VWAP. But I don't think I would take that trade. That's a risky trade. Obviously, the higher probability trade would be taking the value area low or even closer to the value area low. But if you had a really bullish bias here and you were looking at your indicators and they were giving you a lot of bullish signals, you could take the retest of VWAP and POC because you already saw that strength come in above your value area, right? So the day has already shown you that you could find some value above your high. So you're trying to find some support off VWAP, but you're failing that value area, that old value area high. So this is not the value area high anymore. The value area high is up here. This was the old value area high. It also lines up with the point of origin. So you're kind of getting a support and resistance flip here. You see how this became resistance? Or it actually didn't act as resistance. You blew right through it. Support, support, support. Now you're resisting that level. This would have actually been a really hard day. So it sucks that I wasn't able to live cast this day because I would have been I would have liked to see how I would have called it. Because today it's pretty choppy. None of these trades are really clean. The only clean trade you really had here was like this retest. Maybe that retest there. This trade wasn't very clean. You broke through the point of origin, then reclaimed it. Even like this trade wasn't that clean. You reclaimed the distribution. You only got your first target. So a lot of these trades were not clean at all. See, like even this trade, that's a really good trade on most days. But even today, you're finding support on VWAP. So you're finding support and breaking that short on that retest. So as long as you didn't stop out break even here, you would have still held on to that short and you would have been okay. But like I said, today you could have taken these trades either way. So today's definitely a hard day. That's why you want to look for the three structures that I always tell you guys: the P shape, the B shape, and the D shape, right? Those are easy days. When it starts to have a D shape, but then it breaks out, and then you become more of kind of like a lopsided B. Those days are not easy. So nothing really happening here. You're just kind of ranging right towards your value area low. Your value area low actually lines up perfectly with your daily open here. So if you were still holding this short, it's a little hard to say if you would be. You could have gotten stopped out break even, or you could have just manually closed it when you saw that strength come in. But if you are still holding that short, you would be holding for the value area low. So there's your value area low. So if you're still holding that short, you would have closed here. Now, if you're looking for a long, the only place that you would look for a long here is the point of origin low. And you also have the daily low there. But basically this entire range from your value area low, which is right, let me mark it, which is right here. So you have your value area low here. Let me grab my marker here. So basically everything below the value area low to that point of origin, this is a high probability long. And there's your long bounce. Little choppy, but it's still going up. Okay, very choppy. See, today is this choppy. Today's a hard call. Okay, so now we're live. Okay, so what we just saw there. Let me delete the replay. What we just saw there was a test of the value area low. You tried to bounce off of it, rejected immediately. But then you tried to bounce off of it again because you're outside that value area, right? And then once again, you rejected POC. So this is quite bearish. Try to bounce off the value area low, rejected. Try to bounce off it again, rejected the POC. So like I told you guys before, if you have a balanced profile and you bounce off the value area low, but then you instantly reject the POC, you want to be very careful buying the lows. Because your balanced structure, what it tells you is if you bounce out of the value area low, you should be going back to the value area high. Now you can find a little bit of resistance on the POC, but you should go back to the value area high before you retest the low. If you fail the POC and then retest the low, that's no longer a balanced day. You're becoming more bearish. Because what that does to the profile is it puts all that volume towards the low side. And you start to see less volume towards the high side, right? So you're no longer balanced. You're seeing a big chunk of volume here, but only a little chunk of volume here. Okay, so if you bounce out of the value area low, but then fail the POC before hitting the value area high, so you fail back downward, this is becoming bearish. You want to be very careful buying the lows here. You did have a small buy here on the point of origin. So that first tap of the point of origin from way back here, it did give you a small buy. So you did see that bounce. You got about 7 points. It's not bad. It's about $350. That's not terrible. So you could have gotten a small trade there, but I wouldn't put a lot on it. So right now, basically what we're seeing is a balanced day that attempted to break out, failed to break out, and now you're entering a bearish day. You have a massive downtrend, putting all that volume towards the low side. I'm going to go ahead and clean up this chart. So we will look at it without any drawings on it. Digital said, Uber's trying to hurt me, but I don't care. I'll hold my put until expiration if I have to. Bitcoin's rocketing, is it? Yeah, it's at 99. I'm still holding cash. I missed out on a lot of this pump. I closed most of my cash around mid 8s, low 9s. So I missed out on this last little pump here to 10,000. I'm not beating myself up though. I think it was a good close. I was protecting my capital. Bitcoin has been very unpredictable and kind of very volatile recently, so I thought it was a good time to protect my capital. I've gotten a lot done since I sold most of my Bitcoin, so I'm definitely not beating myself up about it. I've been much more productive when I'm not staring at the Bitcoin market all the time. But yeah, you're looking really good. You had a lot of support down here. You can see all these POCs coming in. There's like 7 POCs down here, a lot of support, and then you broke out of it during this session here. Massive breakout here. And then you saw that next day find a lot of support on that previous breakout, which was very bullish. And now we're breaking out into a new structure. So when it broke out here, you really wanted to see some support come in, and that's what you got. You got a little bit of distribution coming in there, and now we're supporting price. Let's take a look at Beyond. Yeah, I can take a look. Yeah, Uber, one other thing about TradingView. TradingView said Uber's earnings is on the 28th. Uber had their earnings today. Or I think they're having them today after market, I believe. So once again, you cannot pay attention to the earnings on TradingView. They're so wrong so many times. Beyond looks like it's just setting up for a distribution. Massive breakout. You're kind of resting on this high. You're still below that point of origin there. Until you flip this resistance, it's not looking too good. This would be a really late long. If you didn't long the pullback here, this would be a really late long. But if you do flip this resistance, it could be really good. You could easily, like 140, 150, will probably come very quickly if you flip that resistance. You can even look at like the range low here. You know, like 143. Not sure what that line was from, but that line's playing out. I think that was the weekly high. Yeah, that's the weekly high. So just what I told you guys yesterday, as long as you hold that weekly high, you're okay. But if you lose that weekly high, not looking too good. Sorry, I was responding to Discord. Hey, Turnip, you said Bitcoin killing it. Yeah, Bitcoin's doing very well, man. There's no other asset that makes me feel FOMO like Bitcoin does. Yeah, Bitcoin definitely induces FOMO because you know that it could run like 50% for no reason at any point. It's like a penny stock. Basically what it is. It's like a penny stock. Yeah, see, look, it says their earnings are on the 28th. This is not right. Don't they have earnings today? Yeah, Thursday, May 7th. This says May 28th. TradingView, it's so simple, man. It's like literally just pulling data from another site, right? You're just pulling data from like NASDAQ, New York Stock Exchange to get the earnings information. It's not hard. It's really not. Has it hit 10,000 yet? It's $20 away from 10,000. That is ridiculous. What did it nuke down to? It nuked down to like 3,000. And now we're already at 10,000? Jesus, dude. That's so ridiculous. It's almost up 200% since March. Yep, I missed out on a lot of that move. I sold a lot of my stack around 66, then it pulled back to like 58. I didn't buy it back. And then I sold more at 80, 82, 84. I sold some at 9,000. I only have like 10 to 15% of my stack left. I got a decent bit though in cash, so I'm not too worried about it. There's that level that I've been calling out in Discord. This is that weekly level. You have that weekly low here. Or sorry, weekly point of origin here. You already broke the weekly low. You have a weekly point of origin around 99.71. This is a major level here. If you're gonna fail, you're gonna fail very soon. You have 10.230 is another major level as well. You could rock it up to 10.230, but once you get there, it should come down. Look at the volume though, that's very scary for bears. Volume is increasing right here on the breakout. We should have known that Bitcoin was going to just absolutely obliterate everybody that was holding longs right before the halving. And then it was going to rocket all the way into the halving. It's just so typical Bitcoin. Just butcher as many people as you possibly can at any given moment. Right now, sadly, if it follows that mentality like Bitcoin typically does, like I said, butcher as many people as you can, that would be the longs. The longs are extremely extended here. Digital said the most expensive penny stock in the world. Yeah, it is. Said I got my Bitcoin long in at 76.50 based off the hash ribbon indicator. I sold half my long at 9.4. Now I'm just trailing up. So the hash ribbon literally has a 100% win rate on Bitcoin, but it fires a buy rarely. Yeah, we looked at that on stream a long time ago. The hash ribbon, I think it's on here. Is it this one? Oh, this isn't on. I need to go to Bitcoin. Yeah, so here's the buys on the hash ribbon. When did it give the buy? Let's see. It gave the buy right around 75. Yeah, 76.50 like you said. It was very late on the capitulation call. Yeah, it typically is. It's very late on the capitulation. This one was early. This one basically bought the bottom. You're right, though. It does have a 100% win rate, really. Yeah, it's not great for exiting positions. Yeah, exactly. Very interesting. Yeah, BLX has the longer term. Yeah, it's a little shitty that I sold most of my stack and it's running rapidly, but that's trading. Not like I'm losing money. I'm just missing out on gains. Missing out on gains doesn't really piss me off that much. I think losing money is more more of a pain in the ass than missing out on profits. Yeah, Jelly, I was just talking about how... So, like, this one here that we're talking about in Discord, you have a long period of time in between these two peaks. So it's not going to be a very strong signal. It could still play out. But you typically want to see them kind of like this, like peak to peak. Or like, what was an example we called out earlier? Yeah, so like this one here. You kind of see that like peak to peak. It's really close together. Or like for the bull divs, you can see the same thing on the bull divs. It's like peak to peak. This one just has a little bit too long of a period between them. It's still okay to trade it because the way the Momo is designed, it's still proper. But that's like 33 bars. That's a pretty far width in between the peaks. This is like 20 bars. Let's see. This one is like 17 bars. Where was that bull div? I think I grabbed that bull div already. Let's see. Do we have any other divs? Yeah, so like this one here is like 16, 17 bars. So it seems like typically if they're like less than 20, they're stronger. So you have one like right here that's like 10 bars. This one's just a little far away. It's almost like 30 bars. Yeah, 33 bars. That's just a far peak to peak. It could still play out though. This could still play out. It's just gonna be a little it's not gonna be as clean. It's gonna be a little dirtier. A little choppier. So what I would look for is instead of judging it on this peak here and looking for a bear div, I would count this as a peak and then look for another peak. So it could probably make a bear div here. So like if this went for another run, it would almost guarantee this to be a div because this is unhealthy, right? If it just kept running here, it would have to be damn near vertical to not cause a bear div, if that makes sense. The way the Momo is designed, it's really good at judging like relative momentum for like the close bars. So if this went for a move within the next like 5 to 10 candles, unless it's damn near vertical, it's going to be a bear div. You said if that's so, would looking at a higher time frame be more relevant than smaller time frames for looking for top bottom? It doesn't matter. The divs are all going to be relative to that time frame, right? So if it's a 1 hour div, it's still going to play out on the 1 hour time frame. You want to trade the divs on whatever time frame you find them. Like you don't want to trade a 4 hour div on a 1 hour. I mean, you can, but it's not how you should trade it. But if you're looking at like a 4 hour here, there's no div, right? There's no div here. You're looking at like a 2 hour, there's no div. 3 hour, there's no div. 8 hour, no div. Now the 12 hour, this is where you get interesting. Because the 12 hour is forming a div. If this starts to top out here, this will form a div. So if this starts to go sideways, and this momentum fails, then look at that. You have a massive bear div here. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but for this, same thing with the 12-hour. For this not to be a div, price damn near has to go vertical here. What I mean by vertical is like 3 white soldiers. You need like engulfing, engulfing, engulfing all the way up, right? If you had a couple more engulfing candles here, this would not be a bear div. But if you start to consolidate around like 10,000, 10,200, it's going to be a bear div. Daily is also looking for kind of a consolidation, but the daily is very strong here. The weekly is also very strong. So the weekly is breaking out of that low here on the Momo. You see that breakout here? The weekly is starting to break out. But look at how high this is compared to where it should be. The maximum price that it should be right now is like 9,500. 93 to 95. It's at 99. So this is unhealthy. But that doesn't mean it has to pull back. Look at the tops here. These things can run for a long time. Eventually they will pull back though. CME has Bitcoin over 10,000. Jesus. Yeah, almost 10-1. That's crazy. Massive premium. Massive premium for sure. SPY's pulling back here. It's funny, SPY is getting wrecked and Bitcoin's mooning. GIS looks like she wants to dump. Yeah, everything's probably about to start dumping if SPY keeps dumping like this. Digital said, I want to open shorts soon, but I have to wait for confirmation. Yeah, right? Shorting any of this is going to be ridiculously hard. This is the time where even if you like laddered shorts, Bitcoin could destroy you. Like if it really wanted to run here, you could see another 10%. You could easily see another 10%. Yeah, I posted that in Discord. Turnup, he said I read that Square and Grayscale bought 52% of all the Bitcoin mined this year. Yep. So of all the Bitcoin that was mined this year, Square, which is Cash App, and Grayscale, they're like a hedge fund basically. They bought 52% of the Bitcoin that was mined this year. I think it's so funny because people think of Bitcoin as like this big decentralized, stick it to the banks, like currency, right? It's owned by the people. But then you look at the wallets in Bitcoin, and it's almost worse than an actual currency. Like the people, the big people who own Bitcoin own basically all of the Bitcoin. People think of Bitcoin as like this big free currency that is well distributed between all the accounts. It's not true. The big accounts that own Bitcoin own a vast majority of the Bitcoin. The Winklevosses must be really rich, yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sure they're doing alright. They probably would have been richer if they were still involved in Facebook. Man, my head's getting ready to explode the past couple of days with just how much work I've been doing on like the business side and everything. I couldn't imagine if I was still day trading crypto. If I was still day trading crypto, there's no way in hell I'd be able to do what I'm doing right now. So, like I said, I sold my Bitcoin early, but it's like taking a weight off my shoulders. I've gotten a lot accomplished during like this quarantine time. My channels are exploding. Well, my YouTube is exploding. My other channels are pretty stagnant. But my YouTube's exploding. I've gotten 4 major business deals. The Discord's growing slowly. The website's basically redesigned. My trading, I'm not trading live right now, but I feel like I have a clean head right now. Like, if you take, I told you guys this before. I've done this on stream a couple of times, where I take like a month or 2 off live trading, and then I get back into live trading and I have really good months. So like when I took the last dump on Bitcoin, when it dumped all the way down to 3K, I took a couple months off, and then I came back around like February or March, and the next couple of months were some of my biggest months ever. And then I'm taking a month off right now. I feel like when I come back, I'm gonna have a really big couple of months. Yeah, man, it's been 2.5 years really building the business, and it's getting to a point where I feel very happy with it. It's still not enough to like stop trading and just live off the business. I don't think I'll ever do that because I love trading, even though trading is a nightmare. But I'm finally getting recognized by like big companies. Like we partnered up with Webull, partnered up with NinjaTrader, partnered up with TrendSpider. My last partner I can't mention yet, but I will be mentioning them soon. I think I'm good for a while. I don't want any more partners. I already turned down a couple of crypto partnerships. One I turned down twice. They kept offering me a partnership. But I think these 4 are a good, solid base, right? And now I can focus on building the community and going back into my trading. The stock market is getting ready to close here. We got 1 minute left on the day. A lot of choppy price action here coming towards the end of the day. It's pretty funny looking at the price action from the start of the day towards like the mid of the day. Pretty clean, pretty standard. And then the last hour. This is why I don't trade the last hour. Just choppy. You still, if you didn't have that massive distribution up here, this would have been a very clean, balanced day here. Would have been a very clean, balanced day, but that distribution kind of ruined it. That is almost like, it's almost like not balanced because it's so flat. Now with a real balanced day, you want to see it balanced towards the middle, right? You want to see the POC and then decreasing volume, decreasing volume. This is actually pretty funny. It's pretty flat throughout the entire value area. You don't see that quite often. That's pretty rare. Here's that closing session. Getting a lot of volume coming in. People closing who don't want to hold overnight. Hey, Paradigm, what's going on, man? Alrighty, so SPY is closed here. We can take a look at Bitcoin now. Starting to fail that high, that level. That's a weekly level. If you start to fail here, this could be a strong sell-off. That is a strong weekly level. He said, look at the 30-minute Momo on Bitcoin. Close my long at 90, 50, 10K shenanigans. Yeah, I think anybody taking profit here, even if it runs to like 11,000, I wouldn't beat yourself up. I took profit way earlier and I'm not beating myself up. 30-minute Momo. 30-minute Momo is pretty choppy. Oh, this is the SPY. The SPY is choppy. Let's go to Bitcoin. Oh yeah, 30-minute Momo is delicious. That's beautiful. So I've told you guys this many times before. When the Momo pinches together, you do not ever trade against it. It is very rare to see, but if it's pinching together, you do not ever trade against it. So you really did not want to short this. This is a ridiculously strong move. What this means is, so if you guys trade the Momo, you guys know that the histogram is the short-term price action. The line is the long-term price action. So when they pinch together, that is telling you that the short-term price action and the long-term price action are both going in the exact same direction with the exact same momentum. It's like a freight train. You do not step in front of the freight train. You just ride it. Right? Now look at the Momo. You don't see that very often. The trends don't line up like that. It's not common. But like right here, you see how it pinched? You do not trade against it. Same thing here. Look at this. You see how it starts to pinch? So this is, sadly, this is what Bitcoin could do right here. You see how it pinches together and just rockets upward? As long as that short-term momentum is still bullish, there's no reason to doubt it. So right now, that short-term momentum is still bullish. You said the 15-minute Momo is a flat line? Yeah, so 15-minute Momo, if you get that flat line, that means the trend is very strong. If it flattens out at 15, that means that it's basically a very strong trend in that direction, right? And it's very healthy. You see the 15-minute pinch here? 15-minute pinch, you were pinching downward, and then you shifted upward, and then you rocketed. You got to pay attention to that. The 5-minute OTS was basically green the entire way. You had that one little fake out, but then you were bullish. You flipped the pivot, flipped the pivot. You're not flipping this pivot though. Look at this pivot. You have a pivot coming in on the high and you're already failing. You can't really use the 1 minute on Bitcoin. A little too choppy. But same thing with the 15-minute. You were basically below the trail. You had a bunch of buy signal, buy. You had like 10 buy signals here. Yeah, the 1 minute bull divs. You can trade the 1 minute bull divs. 1 minute bull divs, 1 minute bear divs are right here. The 1 minute divs on strong moves. If you have a strong impulse like we're seeing currently, the 1 minute divs are historic for calling tops and bottoms. Like people laugh at the 1 minute. I've shown time and time again in the Discord. The 1 minute will show you the end of a trend and the shift of a trend. So like you could go on a 1 minute, I think it was like that 3K bottom. And there was also a couple of bottoms recently that I pulled up. It will find the bottom or the top, and that will be the bottom or the top for the entire trend. So don't bash the 1 minute divs. They work. You had a 1 minute div here, pull back, and then a 1 minute div again. Massive pullback. You only want to use them in very volatile trends though. So you don't want to use them on like just a standard 1 minute chart. You only want to use them when the 1 minute is being very volatile. Besides that, the 1 minute is just it's not good on Bitcoin. It's really choppy. It doesn't really get a lot of volume. So the 1 minute's not very tradable. That's like the only thing that's tradable on the 1 minute for Bitcoin are the divs. Paradigm said, oh yeah, I read that. He said the 989 Binance sell wall at 10K. Is that 989 Bitcoin? That's a lot of Bitcoin, jeez. What is that in dollar value? 989 times, what is that now? 90, let's just say 99. That's almost 10 mil. It's like 9.8 mil. It's a lot of money. So you have the daily value area high around 96.45. You also have a gap right above that value area high. So if you are bullish, what you're going to do is you're going to pull back and you're going to retest that gap. You're going to test the value area high and you're going to bounce off of it and go for a new high. If you're bearish, you're going to dip below the value area high and use it as resistance, and you're going to head towards the POC. So if you lose the value area high, you're targeting the POC and the value area low. Trump says he is reopening the country. What, did he just tweet that like today? He's been saying that for a while. Did he make a new statement? Yeah, I'm checking on my phone. I can't see any new tweets. Let me see. I just realized I'm not even following him on my crypto account. Jesus. Oh, he has a video. Let's take a look.
Moment in our history because we're opening up our country again. People are coming out. They're starting to go around and see what's happening. They've been sort of shut down, as the expression goes. But we're opening up our country. People want our country to open up. Now, we want to do it in a safe way.
I love the way he's so bad at speeches. Like Trump has a different kind of like way that he gives speeches. But one of the funny things that he does is he repeats himself. Well, I do the same thing, so I'm kind of talking shit about myself too. But I do it for more of a teaching sense. But he repeats himself constantly. It's funny.
Washing your hands and
I won't pause it anymore. Sorry.
That we're supposed to do, and something I think that's important to say because I've been okay at this kind of thing. Our economy, it's going to come back very, very strong. You know, we built the greatest economy anywhere in the world. Nobody even close. Greater than China by far, greater than anybody. Nobody was even close. I did it once, we're going to do it again, and it's going to be just as strong by the time we have it done, and it's going to be a lot sooner than anybody would understand. We're going to have an incredible next year, and I look forward to it.
Very nice. I don't think that was a bad speech. I think it was pretty standard. Pretty standard. I think the Fed, they must have miscalculated where their money was going. I think it's going into Bitcoin here. No, he's definitely not. He is a very good public speaker to a certain audience, right? To his audience, he is fantastic. He is very good at getting his audience to, what's the word? Like, get behind him, right? That's why his rallies are so powerful. Because he is very good at getting his supporters to get behind what he's saying. But if you look at the way he gives speeches compared to like Obama, he was very good at, I don't want to get political on stream, but Obama was very good at skating around problems and like skating around questions, but he was very articulate. So he used bigger words, he had better sentence structure. He was more articulate, like, you know what I mean? But he was not as, like, powerful, you know what I mean? You didn't get behind Obama's speeches like you get behind Trump's. New Yorker style, yeah. Thanks for the videos. Yeah, man, no problem. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you guys all watching the content. Digital said Uber had an abysmal earnings report. Broke under $30. Did they? Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Went into the close pretty strong, and then earnings. That's not that bad. 8% from the high. What is it from the close? That's not terrible. That's only like 3% from the close. It'll probably nuke tomorrow, though. Pretty balanced day today. Oh yeah, one thing I wanted to talk to you guys about with the stream account with Webull. I thought about something that we could do that would be a little fun. It'd be more interesting than kind of like the penny stock stuff. Because I know a lot of you guys are getting into options. A lot of you guys like options. It would also be a way for us to actually grow the small account with the stream account. I thought about we could take like $100 every week. So like we would start on Monday with $100. And then we can trade options. And at the end of the week, well, like throughout the week, if we're making money, so let's say we get to like $200. We can use that money to keep buying options, right? But we can only trade weeklies. So we can only trade the weeklies. And every Friday, we have to close all of our positions, and then we start brand new on Monday. So if we lose $100, then that sucks. We start next week, another $100. And then we just go again. And we go again, we go again, right? So at the end of the week, we close it. We can use our profits. We can buy some stocks if we want. Or we can just hold on to it in cash. But then we restart with 100. And then we keep going. Do you guys think that'd be fun? Now, I'm not gonna. I would do it with more money, but I wanna let you guys make some calls. So I wanna let you guys pick some stocks and stuff. Maybe pick some options. See what we like. I don't want you guys to lose all of my money. So. But I wouldn't mind throwing in $100 like every Monday. Throw in $100. Play around with it. Throw in $100. Your audio is failing? What's going on? What's going on with my audio? Is my audio messing up for you guys, or is it just for Paradigm? Testing, testing. How do I sound? It's fine for you, Hockey? I think it's just you. Check your wires, man. Your wires might be loose. Digital said, I hear you fine. Yeah, I think it's just you, Paradigm. Audio fine, man. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. You probably have a loose wire or something. Sorry, man. I'm not sure how to read your name because your name's in Arabic. But you asked... You said, I enter now. What about Bitcoin's next hours? So longing here would be just pure FOMO. If you're longing Bitcoin here, if you're not already in a longing currently is just pure FOMO. But Bitcoin is doing that thing where all dips are being bought up relentlessly, and the buy volume is increasing, right? So we're actually seeing, let me pull it up on this chart here. We're actually seeing the buy volume go up with the price. So like on the daily, the buy volume's increasing. You have a lot of volume here. So with that said, buying here would be FOMO, but it also could keep running. There's nothing that says that would stop running here unless you have like bear divs. You're definitely extended. So you definitely need to pull back. When I say need to, I mean like for it to be healthy, it should consolidate here before going again. But that's not what Bitcoin does, right? Bitcoin just runs. So it could easily keep going up. Now, would I long this? No way. I'm very disciplined. I don't like longing tops like this, so I wouldn't long this. But could it keep going higher? Yes, it could. Would I short this? No, I would not short this. Because, like I said, this thing could rocket at any moment. Like, go back to look... What did I just show you guys on, like, the... Where's my other chart? My charts are all messed up. So, like, look at this on... Like, this move here, right? If we go to this, it's not going to let me. I was going to show you this on a lower time frame. It's not going to let me, though. TradingView is not going to go back that far. Maybe... Let's just go back to a 30-minute. Yeah, so, like, this is a good example. So, the 30-minute here, this is what that move would have looked like if it would let me pull it up. When you see that massive momentum come in here on the Momo, and you start to see price just breaking into new highs, you don't want to short that, right? This thing can just keep going and keep going and keep going. That's what Bitcoin looks like right now. It looks like it just wants to keep going. So shorting this, definitely a bad idea. Longing this, a pretty bad idea. But if you're already long, I would just be holding on to it. Yeah, I like... See, for my style of trading paradigm, I'm with you. I think if I was trading live here, I probably would be shorting this. Because I'm crazy and I like taking those kind of shorts. You guys know, like, back in 2019, I shorted all the way up. We made good money doing it, though. Like, if you guys were in the stream or in the Discord back during 2019, we shorted basically this entire move up. I was longing until, like, what was it, like 66 or something? It was somewhere around, like, here. And I stopped longing and I started shorting. And then I sold all of my Bitcoin at 13,000. Like, 12,700, 13,000. And then we bought it all back around 78. And then I started selling it again, and then I lost a lot of it during this dump here. And then I sold the rest of it around the pump here. So that's basically like my long-term trading of Bitcoin. But yeah, I love shorting parabolic moves like this. So I honestly would be trying to short this probably all the way up. It's not a good idea, though. It's definitely not a good idea. Digital said, I'm using the 12-hour Ichi Cloud as my support. Just going to trail under it until it breaks and closes under the cloud support. I won't short. Yeah, see, I like that idea. So, like, if you guys are trading, like, my Ichimoku strategy, this thing has probably been long for a very long time. If you guys watch my Ichimoku video, I'm sure if you guys are using that strategy, you're making a lot of money right now. I don't use lagging. I don't need these lines here. And then 3 hour. Yeah, so 3 hour you longed right here. So you would have longed around 89. And you'd still be holding. 12 hour, you would have longed around 71 and you'd still be holding. And then if you traded the 15 minute, you would have longed somewhere down here during this impulse. So anywhere from like 93 to like 94, 94.50. You might have got stopped out here, but you would have re-entered. So you'd still be holding. And you'd be holding until 96, 96.50. So all three of my time frames, the 15 minute, the 3 hour, and the 12 hour, for my Ichimoku strategy, they're all long right now. The 12-hour cloud is a little far away, digital. So you'd be taking a loss on that if you did pull back rapidly. But it's a good setup for a long-term trade. If you're holding a long-term trade, it's okay. But that's a pretty wide trail for a short-term trade. Your trail would be, that's like a 20% trail. That's pretty hard. Paradigm said, check out the monthly Ichi on the BLX. Crypto settings, if you have it. Crypto settings are dog shit. But I will take a look for you. So you're coming into the weekly top of the cloud. You bounced off the bottom so far. Monthly, you're coming into a flat cloud as well, around 10,000. So a lot of resistance around 10,000. This is very, very far behind. This says 92. But I will pull up the monthly, or the Ichi settings. 20, 60, 120, 30, right? 20, 60, 120, 30. I think that's right. There is no cloud. These aren't crypto settings. Because these are crypto settings. 20, 60, 120, 30. I don't know what this is. Yeah, this is BLX. Brave New Coin. There's two of them. There's two BLXs. What are you looking at? The NASDAQ one? Yeah, it's the one I'm looking at. I don't think you're using crypto settings. Whatever indicator that you're using is not using crypto settings. The crypto settings are 20, 60, 120, 30. 20, 60, 120, 30. Yeah, crypto Ichimoku, that's a different indicator. That's just going to be really weird. The crypto settings here have been bullish since like 7,000. Crypto settings are just useless in my opinion. 9, 26, 52, 26, I believe, right? That's right, guys, right? 9, 26, 52, 26. Yeah, I don't know what kind of settings those are, Paradigm. So that's just looking at a completely different window. 10, 30, 60, 30. I've never heard of those. I do see what you're talking about, though. That pattern on the cloud is pretty strong. When you have, like, the cloud kind of riding below, it's like a very tight cloud. riding below the price. It's a really strong pattern. But I wouldn't use those settings if I was being honest. I don't know who came up with those settings, but that's pretty random. Default Ichimoku, there's like nothing wrong with it. People use the crypto settings 2060, 120, 30 because they say that Bitcoin is a 24/7 market. Ichimoku was not designed for 24/7 market, so you have to change the settings, blah, blah, blah. But I've done extensive testing on the default settings, and that's what I talk about in the video. And I've got a couple of traders that are using those settings, or sorry, using that strategy, and they're doing quite well. Digital said, I trust the Ichi defaults, especially after reading the Ichimoku Sanjin book. I haven't read that book. Is that like the book from the founder? Paradigm said they work pretty well even for normal trading. Yeah, I just don't... Ichimoku is not a... I think I talked about this in the video. Ichimoku is not one of those indicators where it's designed to be messed with. It's like a system, right? The guy who designed Ichimoku is like a system. And he backtested it for years, decades. So I don't... It's like taking a Bill Williams indicator, like the alligator, and changing the settings. But Bill Williams designed the alligator to be those settings. So changing the settings is kind of breaking the indicator. It's not like a MACD or like an RSI where you can change the settings kind of to how you want them. Hey, JTEX, you said, if you have $1,000 to start, what cryptos would you be looking at? So I don't really trade shitcoins. So I think your question would be more suited towards like, what shitcoins would I put in my portfolio? I don't trade any of those coins. So I would basically only trade the big name coins like Ethereum, Bitcoin. If you wanted to throw some Ripple in there for a more kind of more volatile, more high risk, you could throw some Ripple in there. But I literally only stick to Bitcoin and Ethereum. I found that when I used to day trade crypto, if I stick to just trading Bitcoin and Ethereum, I make more money. I perform better if I just stick to the two main coins and I don't trade the shit coins. Now, with that said, Mana, I have a basically 100% track record with Mana, so I do like Mana. Mana is my favorite shitcoin. So if you did want to look into shitcoins, I would look into Mana. But that's basically it. I trade Bitcoin, I trade Ethereum, I trade Mana occasionally. If you wanted to get really risky, Ripple, but Ripple's pretty dog shit now. I know you guys are all going nuts in chat because I said Ripple. Bitcoin Cash, no. I'd never traded Bitcoin Cash, never will. Their chart is pretty disgusting. It's just it's like a meme. It's like Ripple basically. There's no point in trading it. It's a cult coin, yeah, exactly. Yeah, like Digital said, top 3 are a safe bet. What is the top? What's the third coin right now? It's Bitcoin, Ethereum. What's number 3? Is it Ripple? Man said, I only lost money trading Bcash. It's worse than Ripple. Yeah, I agree. I think it's worse than Ripple too. Paradigm said Tezos 5% dividend for staking. Where can you stake Tezos? Can you stake it on Coinbase? Yeah, Tezos is another coin you could probably look into trading because they're very popular now. It's probably one of the most popular, one of the popular main coins on any exchange or on a ledger. So as long as you're holding Trezor, you can make that 5%, is what you're saying? Man, I was holding some Bitcoin on Hotbit for a partnership deal that I had, and I was getting paid dividends the entire time. And I left it on Hotbit for like months because I just didn't feel like going through all the bullshit to get it off. And I checked it, and I was actually getting paid dividends every day. Cardano's going to start staking in a couple days. That's ADA he's talking about. Let me see if I missed anything. XRP Army, yeah, Hockey. I used to be an XRP bro as well. He said Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, 3 coins that respect charts and technicals. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Bitcoin, Ethereum, they definitely expect... They definitely respect the charts, the technicals. Litecoin as well, but Litecoin can get decoupled every now and then. Litecoin's not very popular anymore. Link is easy to trade too, Paradigm says. I've never traded Link, but I have seen a lot of Link charts. Like, Link became the new Ripple, right? The Link Marines, or whatever they call them, is basically the same as the XRP Army. The Link Bros. But yeah, from what I've seen on the indicators, Link is pretty solid. Any of those altcoins that like to trend, like, look at how clean this is. Any of the altcoins that like to trend are very easy to trade with the indicators. Like, you can see when it shifts from white to black, you have that downtrend coming in. And then you have the black to white, you have the uptrend coming in. Very clean. Massive bear div on the Momo. Look at how clean the bear div is. Massive bear div, failure downward. Same thing here. Very clean. As long as they're trendy, the indicators do very well. You see black to white, big move up. Black to white, big move up. Black to white again, big move up. So just wait for that black to white on Link, and then there you go. These moves are massive too. It's like 60%. You got about 120% here. Got about 100% there. Massive moves. Look at the weekly on Link. You have a small little bear trap, small little bear trap. You almost had a bear trap there, but you've been white basically the entire chart. White is green on the OTS. I have my candles on white. Green is white is bullish. So you have the black to white flip, and then you're basically white the entire way. Couple of bear traps. Pretty clean. Same thing with Bitcoin lately. Look at how trendy Bitcoin's been on the indicators. Let me close all this other stuff. Look at how trendy this has been. So like if you use something like the market sentiment, one of our new indicators. Where is it here? Oh, it's right here. Here you go. So if you use like the market sentiment, very clean. Green, red, green. These flips are pretty standard. A little choppier on the 12-hour. The weekly's turning green again. So is the weekly going to look like this, or is it going to look like this? Because there really is no in between. There's the bear trap, and there's the ridiculous run. You can see like the bear trap, ridiculous run. There is no in between. So this is either going to run ridiculously hard to like 15,000, or it's going to get bear trapped. It respects the SR levels really well. Yeah, it does. XRP company print coins in every market. I'm following Ripple from 5 years. I'll never trade it. Yeah, it's kind of scammy. I made a lot of money trading it back in the day, so I could have made way more if I sold it during the top. You guys were on stream telling me to sell it, and I was not listening. So I gave up like thousands of dollars, letting it fail back downward. 3-day, yeah, the 3-day is one of my favorites on the OTS. The OTS candle colors on the 3-day are very good at detecting trend. So you see how you turned white right here, and then you rocketed upward? The 3-day is very good at detecting trend shifts. But yeah, the pivots were really clean. You had that failure all the way down to that pivot. Popped all the way back up to this pivot. About like 100% move, pivot to pivot. 140% move. Pretty nice. Now, one of my favorite pivots, I think it's a daily one. Let me see. Let me turn this off. It's a little distracting. I think it's a daily one. Is it this one here? I think it's this one. Yeah, look at that pivot. That's one of my favorite pivots on the OTS. This random ass pivot. Now, like, if you saw this pivot when it was forming, you're like, okay, why is there a pivot there? That doesn't really make sense. Just a really random pivot, right? But then look at that breakout, and then look at the top. Ridiculous. Pretty much to the dollar. All right, let me get rid of this. Pull this back up. Back to the 15. 15 starting to distribute here. Momo failing. Man said people are getting long liquidations here. He said, where do these people open long? Yeah, these are the really late FOMO longers on high leverage. Not very smart traders. I couldn't tell you, man. They 50x long the top. They should have, those kind of guys should have 2 accounts. And they should just counter trade themselves. They'd probably actually make money. Human nature, yeah. Yep. I'm just hanging out a little bit longer on stream today because I'm going to get ready to leave my house right when I end stream. So just hanging out a little bit longer, and then we'll call it. You said I enter short on Bitcoin, target 10.4. That's not a short, man. If you entered short, your target would be below price. So you entered a long, I think you mean. Shorting is when you hope the price is going to go down. Turnup said, not even that I think that has to be like 100x. Well, how big of a top is that? Is that like a 2% top? Yeah, it's about a 2% top. So anything over 50x, they're getting liquidated. So if you longed here, you're getting liquidated already if you're anything over 50x. I opened it right when you said that. He said, can you please open footprint? Last hour, like, see, yeah, I can show you. So I actually love this color scheme. I don't know if you guys like this, but I made this for the TPO chart. Pretty nice. Yeah, footprint, I can show you the delta. This would be like the last couple of hours. Delta showing a massive breakout on the buyer delta, 160 million, coming down now to about 111 million. Seeing a little bit of a distribution coming in. If we go to a shorter time frame, like scalping time frame, let's take a look. Yeah, pretty strong pullback here on the scalping time frame. So like I showed you guys in my exocharts video, when you have a massive breakout on the tick chart, it really likes to follow its tick trends, right? So like look at this tick trend here. Look at the higher lows, and then you kind of break the trend, you put in a kind of a lower high there, and then you double bottom, and then you start into a new trend. And then look at that trend there, and then now we broke our trend, right? Kind of a double top, put in a lower high, so now we're downtrending. So what you would look for here is a break of this downtrend. Let me zoom in again. You see this downtrend here? It loves to follow its tick trends. Lower high, lower high, lower high. So you gotta watch this tick trend here. Crazy gamblers, yeah, those are not traders taking those kind of trades. Digital said, I haven't bought yet, but Capper, CAPR, is going to make some moves soon. I think next week. I'm going in based off the 3-hour Ichi. It looks good to me. ER is the 11th, though. Yeah, Capper was one of the ones that went up on our scanner. One of the major movers on Webull. Yeah, it's disgusting. Massive move here. I don't trade stuff like this, but pretty ridiculous. I would probably definitely wait for earnings. We did have a lot of major movers today on Webull. Let me take a look. It signed me out again, damn it. We'll take a look. We'll take a look tomorrow. Oh yeah, by the way, guys, so for that promotion that we're doing with Webull, they are actually canceling their free stock on sign up next week. So if you want to be a part of that that promotion where you get 2 free stocks, you get 1 for sign up, 1 for depositing $100, and then we're also going to give you 30 days access to all of our indicators just for depositing $100 with our referral link. If you want to be a part of that, you need to do it before Monday. So really you need to do it tomorrow because they're going to cancel the free stock on sign up next week. You're still going to get one for depositing, but not for signing up. If you guys want to get involved in that, we're also doing a giveaway where I'm going to be giving away $50 to one person who signs up with the referral link, deposits $100. You're going to be able to win $50 in Bitcoin, USDC, Ethereum, whatever you choose. You're also going to get 30 days access to our indicators, and then you're going to get 2 free stocks from Webull. Webull is one of our new partners on stream. I'm going to be adding a lot of stuff to the stream here over the weekend with like logos and stuff like that. We're going to put some stuff on the Twitch dashboard as well. I'm going to be releasing some new videos in the future as well. Man, I am sweating in my room. It is hot as hell outside. It's only 68 degrees, but it's hot as hell in my room. Paradigm said I need to get some food and re-up on quarantine. Talk to you later. Hey, man, I'll see you later. I think I'm going to call stream on that as well, guys. We've been streaming for almost 2 hours, a lot longer than we typically stream. I appreciate you guys all being here for our live stream. If you're coming in for the VOD as well, thank you for watching. If you guys like the content, make sure to hit that subscribe button on YouTube or hit that follow button on Twitch. I will be streaming tomorrow, same time, 3 p.m. Eastern, and then I'll probably be streaming again. Well, I'll definitely be streaming again on Monday, but I might do a morning stream on Monday. We'll see how I feel. So look out on Twitter for that. If I do a morning stream, I'll let you guys know. No stream on the weekend, but I will be releasing the summary of markets in the Discord on Sunday. So make sure you guys keep an eye out for that. We still have our Momo deal going on, $10 off the monthly plan until Monday. And then we also have $100 off the Discord for the rest of the month. So May 100 for the Discord promo code, and then 10 off for the Momo promo code. But all right, guys, appreciate you guys being here. I will be streaming tomorrow. I'll see you guys later. If I don't see you tomorrow, you guys have a good weekend, and I'll catch you on Monday. All right, guys. Peace out.